Welcome, 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 man. This is the podcast. We are back, man. This is Coffee with Jenni and Dre. This is my beautiful co-host, Jenni.
What up?
And this is episode 10 of season 3. This is our final episode, man. It's the season finale. So we're rolling this thing out, man. We got 2 special guests on the podcast today, man. We got Amir Lancaster and we got Natalie Cortes, man.
Welcome.
So we're happy to have these folks on. Let's give them a round of applause, man.
A real round of applause.
This is pretty awesome, man. Like I said, this is Amir. You can find him on, Summer House with Martha Vineyard. You can also find him at Collective doing a little working out. Mm-hmm. You can find him doing the real estate in Austin. You can find him fake. He do like these fake highlights where he's like spiking the ball because he thinks he can do a little bit of volleyball, and that shit is so fake, man. He jumps a little bit high and he shows the one highlight where he's at this peak. You know what I'm saying? He does rugby, man, and he's just picked up a new love for pickleball. He thinks he's about to do some things in that space, man. He also has a podcast with his brother.
I do,
which is pretty dope. What's the name of that podcast?
We're Just Making It.
We're Just Making It, man. That's pretty dope. We have Miss Natalie Cortes, his beautiful new fiancée.
Hey.
She is the real estate gal, and
beautiful.
she does her thing in the real estate market, man. That's pretty dope, man. And together they are a pretty cool power couple, man.
We're excited to have you guys on.
Excited to have y'all on.
Thank y'all for coming.
Let's jump into your little coffee segment real quick, babe.
So we did 2 hands.
Okay.
And we did it because this is y'all's favorite spot, right?
It is.
It's
Sure is.
off of South Congress in Austin, the only location in Austin, but they also are, I looked them up, kind of all over. Have y'all looked up all their locations?
We went to the one that they have in Nashville.
Okay.
Nice.
Nashville,
Do they have one in New York?
New York. And I also noticed they have like a cattle company. Did y'all see this?
No.
They have like fresh, no antibiotics, farm-raised cattle company in New York. Also, is on their website. I thought that was cool.
might be
Interesting,
why
that's
their
kinda-
hamburgers are so good.
They got hamburgers there?
Dude,
my-
they have the best
told you.
smash burgers
See?
ever.
I
What?
Yes.
diehard fan.
It's the only hamburger that she'll eat.
Wow.
So I was trying to find if their meat is from the farm, but I haven't got to figure that out. I couldn't. It didn't really say, but my thought is yes.
I
would assume so. Yeah.
Nice.
And so they do have a Tribeca one, Nashville, Dallas. So those are the only 2 in Texas is Austin and Dallas. But it is off of South Congress. I've heard their hamburgers are amazing. I've never had them, but y'all are saying it's like some of the best in Austin.
I'm a hamburger connoisseur. I eat a hamburger every day.
How do you feel about Clark's hamburger?
Clark's has the best hamburger to me.
I haven't had Clark's. I'll be
you gotta
totally
go
honest
have
with
it.
you. I'm working my way through Austin.
You got to get there.
You've
Gotta
go to
get
Clark.
there.
Okay, what about Dirty Martin's?
I haven't had
Dirty
Martin's,
Martin's.
Okay,
but I've
maybe
had
I'm not a
Clark's.
hamburger.
You're not a
connoisseur.
hamburger
second.
nah.
Okay, what I
think
mean by
I'm
that
more of
is
a
I
hamburger
love to eat.
connoisseur than
I
you.
cook a hamburger every day
Yeah.
at home. Like my meal
Oh.
prep consists every week of 8 hamburgers that I eat throughout the week.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
you got to
is
get
true.
around.
That is not a bad diet.
You've
I'm
been
not
slipping
mad
a
at
little
that.
bit on your thing. Let's
Okay,
taste this
I'll work
coffee.
on it. I'll work on it.
Okay, wait. Do you do cheese on them? Like cheeseburger? Just a burger?
Hamburger,
Just
yeah.
bread?
Bread, pickles, barbecue sauce, mustard. That's
Barbecue sauce
Barbecue
and
sauce and
mustard.
mustard.
it. Yeah.
I have never heard
It's
of
an
that
interesting
combination.
concoction. I'm so confused.
Yeah,
but
interesting. Okay,
What did you get me, babe?
that is a vanilla latte, babe.
Well, I didn't know. I'm just asking what you got me. Got to make
Vanilla
sure.
lattes, matchas, and his Cubano coffee.
Double shot of espresso,
Yummy.
sugar.
Double shot of espresso, 1 sugar.
Delicious.
That's what he likes.
Yep. So shout out to 2 Hands.
2 hands. Shout
Great
out.
coffee. Thank you guys. I like it.
So
It's
let's get
busy.
into the segment 1. Amir, Natalie, let's get a quick background of, where you from, all that good old stuff, where you were raised, all that good stuff like that, man.
Honestly, do you want me to start or Natalie to start? I think
Whoever.
you should get her to start because I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
bring
be-
it.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it.
Natalie, let's get you. Where you?
Okay.
Where you originated from? Where you?
Get the
Where you from?
little
Tell me a
jitters
little bit
out.
about yourself.
yeah, so I'm from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay.
I grew up there, and one of my favorite cities by far. I don't have a cool story. I feel like I grew up there, and then I moved to Texas when I was 13 in 2012.
Okay.
Right, 13, something
Like
around there.
Austin is where you moved, or
No, Houston.
Houston? Okay.
So I moved to Houston. My dad started a company in Houston, so we moved to the Friendswood, League City area, so
Okay.
south of Houston.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, I don't
Super
even know
south.
where that
Mhm.
is.
It's
Okay,
super south.
south.
Super
Austin.
south.
Okay.
You're going towards Galveston.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're
Got
out
it.
there. And then, I went to school at Texas State University.
Okay.
Tried studying to be a doctor. realized that wasn't my journey. And then I found my way to Austin and then started selling real estate straight out of college.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So how long have you been in Austin?
4 years now.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah, I moved during my last year of college during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everything went online. I was like, okay, let me get out of this little city and go to the big city.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I did.
I like it.
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
like it.
Come on. Do you want to ask the question now? You want to wait?
Ask it.
Which one?
Ask it.
You want? Yeah, she's one. I want to ask Natalie this question. Go ahead and answer the question
Okay,
real quick.
well, I
Get it
don't
out.
even know what the real question would be, but we watch. He gets mad at me. You don't even know the name of it. Selling Sunset.
She wants
So,
to know, what do you think about that show? Like,
Do you watch it?
I mean, yes, I do.
Okay, and so if they did something like that in Austin, would you do it?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Not really for the real estate side, but like the fashion.
because
Yeah,
they're on a
like,
whole different fashion
that's
level, man. And then the
whole nother
Oppenheim, what is that?
Oppenheim Group.
Oppenheim Group, yeah.
So there's been opportunities that they've actually like tried casting
Oh, really?
projects like that in Austin.
Yeah?
It just
Doesn't
hasn't
go
happened.
well?
It just hasn't.
yeah.
I
taken
wonder
off.
why.
I mean, I have a few reasons why I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we don't have the character in Austin. From a homes perspective, we've got some really great homes, but they're not spread out like a California is. They're pretty concentrated.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I think the people that we have that would try and make that show, we don't. This is no disrespect to anyone listening to it, and if you're an agent in Austin, boo-hoo. We don't have a lot of pretty real estate agents. Like, especially, like...
Just one. Well, I don't want to say just one.
we've got two at least here.
No, I'm saying, I don't want to say just one, but I'm saying like that's big because the biggest one is Kamar.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, she's the biggest
Kamar.
one. Yeah.
You got a Kamar, you've got a
You gotta-
Bridget.
yeah.
But name someone that's under the age of 40.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't,
Yeah.
right? Because there's such a monopoly on the real estate game because they do so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, from that perspective, if you're thinking about a show, you want to see faces like us and our friends on it. You're not
Yeah.
wanting to see a Bridget Ramey.
Yeah.
And that's just from a relatability perspective.
For
Yeah.
sure. For
And
sure.
so,
And the drama on
Yeah,
that
that's
show.
what I was
yeah,
saying.
you
Yeah.
got to think about it.
Drama.
Like, those older agents, they're not going to input themselves in a drama.
Exactly,
On
yeah.
reality TV, like, they're successful in their careers for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, those agents that are on TV are still working on building their careers,
That's true.
if not already having semi-established careers.
Yeah.
Facts. Well, give us a little background about yourself, man.
Man, ooh, that double espresso is hitting my heart. is
Already?
racing. Oh yeah, it's quick. I haven't eaten much today.
I don't think no hamburgers today.
No, I had a breakfast taco from Mi Madre's over on the east side. Love Mi Madre's.
Yeah.
My name's Amir. You guys know that because we know each other.
Yeah.
But I'm from Arlington, Texas. Born and raised there. Lived there my whole life. Went to school at Lamar High School. It's like one of the bigger schools known in North Texas. Graduated. Tried to leave home, go against my mother's wishes and her recommendations for college. She wanted me to go to Texas State when I graduated, and I was like, no, I don't want to go to Texas State. Like,
Yeah.
no one good comes out of Texas State. In my head, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So then we have this one.
And so I went to Texas A&M, lived in College Station for about a year, realized that I absolutely just did not fit the culture there.
Yeah.
Wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid
Yeah.
in Aggie Land.
Yeah.
Then transferred to Texas State. All of a sudden, my life just kind of flipped around. Made a lot of really good friends. Started playing sports. Just trying my hand at everything.
Yeah,
I was a
for
really
sure.
late bloomer, so playing sports in high school wasn't really an option for me. I was a really good wrestler. And I ran track, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't start to fill out my frame or grow until my freshman year of college. And then graduated from Texas State. Started doing corporate sales.
Yeah.
Realized that I loved selling, didn't like the corporate structure, and started doing like social media.
For sure.
Try-on hauls. That's kind of how I got my start on social media. I did Shein try-on hauls for men because there just weren't any male creators at the time doing
doing
anything.
Yeah.
Blew up, and then was like, wow, like I'm getting a lot of positive reinforcement from the universe about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
And then
that. Very
I
cool.
was like, well, if I'm good at creating social media and people like me, what if I got into acting? Got an acting coach, got a couple agencies, took off in the acting space from a commercial perspective, did my hand at TV acting.
Yeah.
Not very good
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I have a bit. I'll send it to you guys. It's really bad. It's like some sitcom TV where you just sit there and you're like, You're trying. You're really trying.
But this is not
Bless
it.
No,
his heart.
it isn't it for me. And then, man, I just went back to doing social media, decided to get into real estate because I didn't want to go back to corporate sales.
Yeah.
And reality TV hit my plate. And I was like, I'm just someone who likes to say yes to every opportunity because
For
I
sure.
think that there's a lot of value in knowing what you do and don't like from experience versus just saying I don't like it. Like, for example, I know that I don't like Caesar dressing with anchovies in it. Not
Right.
because I hate the idea of anchovies, but
you
because
tried it.
we were at dinner and the dressing had anchovies in it, and I was like, I'll try it, and I threw up at the dinner table.
Oh wow.
So like, but
Like he really
but
doesn't
she
like
knew
it.
that, and she was like, "Don't do it." And I'm like, "But I need to find out."
Yeah.
Like I
Why?
need to know. I
Yeah.
have to touch the stove.
For sure.
So-
Right. Okay. I like that. That's
Very
I did-
different.
Funny,
Yeah.
funny story. We was we took a little family trip. We got married in Horseshoe Bay, at and
so
so
cute.
I know
we
that
went
place
to,
very well.
We went back to Horseshoe Bay.
We know that you know
we,
this
we
place.
went back to Horseshoe Bay and shit, and we got a nice little old suite and everything. Kids are going crazy, and I see a damn pamphlet. I look at the pamphlet, and this motherfucker's on the front of the pamphlet in a row.
In a row.
Yeah, in a
And I'm
robe.
like, what in the hell?
And I would think
Like,
it was
I can't
me.
get
I was like,
away
I
from this
think
dude.
this
Like, he was on a. So how did that? Like, what? How did that come about?
Really, that first year that I just kind of stepped into the modeling and acting world, like I said yes to every single opportunity that hit my plate, whether they were a good photographer or as a good print job or whatever it was. I just said yes.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that hit me up and was like, "Hey, we'll pay you $500. You get a 3-day vacation at Horseshoe Bay. You'll ride jet skis. You'll get to stay in a suite. Like, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
But you're going to be working and you're going to be modeling for the resort."
Wow. Yeah.
It's like, "Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is $500. Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did it, and then I just saw that they were really that was about the time when the world was really pushing for diversity in like commercial magazines and just commercial print in general.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting used a lot in that space, so much so where like if you go to like different areas or features in Horseshoe Bay, my face is there.
Yeah.
More than a lot of other people's.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then
No,
they invited
like we
me
saw
back.
you multiple locations.
Multiple-
last
yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
there he is again.
No, I'll be
There
playing
he is.
golf. Like there's a really iconic picture that they have where I was sitting there. I was just tossing a golf ball in my hand while I was waiting to tee off because we were playing golf.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, can you do that one more time?" And it's my hand just levitating a golf ball, and then it has like the perfect alignment of the Horseshoe Bay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, that's my hand.
So tell me
That's my
this:
hand.
whenever you do that, like, so they get rights to use you anytime that picture, any picture you take in anytime they want to.
Yeah, that was yes.
Okay.
That was back when I was really naive, and I thought $500 for just some pictures of me was like
Yeah.
a sick
Awesome.
deal.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to realize like that picture has lived there for 2 to 3 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
The royalties that I could have got if I had a proper agency, I probably wouldn't have booked that gig because of the fact that my agency fees would have been higher.
Yeah.
Because they were looking for talent that's, smaller because they want to keep their budget low.
For sure.
But yeah, I've lost out on a lot of money from a lot of different jobs because at the beginning of my career, I said yes to so much, and I thought making $200 here, $100 here, $500 here was awesome. And then
Yeah.
they're like, we're gonna keep recycling that.
Yeah.
And then once I came on reality TV, they would update
Recycle it thing
Oh,
even
And I
more.
was like,
yeah.
yeah.
Dang.
So speaking of reality TV, man, how did you get on Summer House with Martha Vineyard? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, that was from social media.
Okay.
That was the growth of my social media. There's 2 different stories to how I came to it, and I always try and tell the right one. I always forget which one to tell. But
Classic.
the one that I
Remind
remember
him.
is I got hit up by someone from the show, one of the castmates or one of the people that worked there, and was like, "Hey, we're shooting a show in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Do you want to be a part of it?" I was like, "Do I have to date or like have sex on TV?" Because that was
Those
like
were the 2 questions
that was
I
my
need
biggest thing
answered.
is because like I had been casted for The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Love Island, F-Boy Island, Temptation Island.
Oh.
I had been because I was creating content about being single in Austin.
Yeah.
And again, I was still having a lot of
Okay.
growth back in 2023, and so all of the
Okay.
shows were like, "We want you." we
Okay,
want
wait,
you."
pause
Yeah.
before you go. So when did y'all meet?
We met 2024.
Oh, okay.
Right
Yeah.
after he came
So
back
you're
from
literally
filming season
sing-
1.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was single going into the show.
Okay.
We finished filming in October, and a month after we finished filming, I met Natalie, and we started dating a month after I met her.
Okay.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that was the timeline. But
Fact
it just
checks over here.
came over
She's
to
fact checking. Look, she's like, hold on.
I'm calculating.
October, November.
We met in October.
Yeah, I finished filming in September.
Yep.
September
October.
29th,
Okay.
I think it was.
Okay.
For sure. Tell me this. What's the pros and cons about being on a reality TV show?
Pros of being on a reality TV show, I would say you get a decent check for, depending on what show it is, like a small amount of work, or if it's a larger show,
Yeah.
you get less money. You get a good check.
Yeah.
Another pro, you get to do a lot of social events. So if you're someone who likes to be social and meet people, that's me.
For sure.
So that was a huge pro. I went to BravoCon and people were like, "Oh my God, Amir Lancaster," and I was like,
So weird.
I was like, "Wow, this is so cool." She's
You
like,
would
"I
love
hate."
that.
I'd be freaking. I'd be like,
Yeah,
See, that's me.
please.
I
send
love it.
someone
I
in.
was eating up. I was like, "Oh, it's so good to meet you." Like, I felt like the president.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Wow.
Cons. The internet is a very ugly place.
Oh yeah, we know.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's a segue right there.
Yeah, the internet is super ugly. I mean, I couldn't do anything right, and without people being like, "That's wrong. Fuck
Yeah.
you. Fuck
Yeah.
your family." And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"That's crazy."
They go hard.
Yeah.
Do you think that the reality show reflected you accurately? Do you think like the clips and the cuts and the edits that they made reflect you in an accurate way?
I would say it gives like a good 85%.
Okay.
Like, they kind of led me. I was typecasted. I was
Yeah.
the young, single, biracial guy.
Yeah.
So with that, there's not a whole lot of room for depth or intelligence, because to be single and hot, you don't need to be smart. Like,
Right.
no one cares.
Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't really get that side of me shown. What I did in season 2 get shown is the fact that I'm very ditzy. I'm what you call a himbo, apparently.
What is that?
You know what a bimbo is, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a himbo.
Oh,
So I'm just-
okay.
I'm very
Okay.
light. I forget a lot of things. I talk without thinking.
Yeah.
And so this past season, like, I would watch myself and I'd be like, "Dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop talking."
Yeah.
And they loved it. They ate that shit up.
Ah.
So I would say it portrayed me in like about 85% accuracy.
When I was reading things online, because I read, I had to do my research, I done a little reading. One thing that I kept coming across is when people was questioning your blackness. Like,
Yeah, that
how
was
do you
a big one.
feel about when they're like questioning your blackness? Because I know your mother is the I don't know if she's
Lebanese.
She's Lebanese,
Yeah.
okay, and your father's black.
Yeah.
Okay.
My biological dad.
Biological dad is black. Tell me, like, when people start questioning your blackness, how does that make you feel? Like, and
At first, it really impacted me. Before
Yeah.
I came on the show, my mom told me, she was like, "Just remember you were enough." Like a mother's instinct was to, she said all of these things very early and was like, "You are enough. Don't let people get to you." And like lined out these things that I needed to remember. And I was like, "Mom, I'm going to be fine."
Yeah.
And like a year after the show came out, because it takes a year for the editing and everything before the show actually comes out.
oh, okay.
And I was like, "I'm going to be fine."
Yeah.
And then that started. People were like, "You're not black enough. You're not black. We don't claim you as a black man." And then certain people tried to like pick on me about my Lebanese side. It just, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it really messed with my head, because I was like, dang, like I really don't have an identity. I had a huge identity crisis when we started dating, because I was like, I was getting attacked, and then she was getting attacked because of me. And I
Yeah.
felt guilty that she was now in the crossfires.
Yeah.
Then she felt guilty that she was putting me in the crossfires because she's a Latina and not black. And
Yeah.
I was like, it was tough.
I mean, I get that shit too. When you're married to a white woman, but I don't give a damn, because one thing for sure, I can fight.
See,
so I don't really have
and
a
that's
problem.
my thing, is no
I
one
can
would
fight.
ever say that shit to my face.
Facts.
No.
And so,
Yeah.
and anyone that ever did approach us in the street, it's always all love.
Love.
For sure.
Yep.
And so I had to go through quite a bit of hate and quite a lot of experiences in person
Yeah.
to realize, like, oh, these are just keyboard warriors.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she hadn't had exposure to this. And
For
so
sure.
me seeing this, like, I wanted to do everything I could to protect her.
Exactly.
So, like, I would get furious. Like if someone came after her, like you can talk about me and I won't respond, but they would talk about her, and I would just be like, "Who the fuck?"
No, that's
like,
me. I'm on the ass. I'm on the ass about my wife.
Please don't. You're making things so
I'm on my
much worse.
talk about my wife. I'm on your ass.
Yeah, literally.
Like I'm not playing no games.
There's times where I'm like, just delete, because I've gone to where I don't read any of it. Because initially I would start to read it and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this.
I'm on it.
I don't want to know. But like one of the things that we saw was a girl calling you A, saying you're not black enough, basically, and then B, oh, take your colonizer girlfriend somewhere else. And I was like,
yeah, people would just
anything. They'll say anything. And I'm like, what? Because you were on the show.
I was.
She was on for like
episode 8.
Yeah,
episode 8.
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
Okay.
She was there for 2
2
episodes, 7 and 8.
Yeah, because it was to bring your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, it was Significant Others weekend.
For sure, yeah.
Because the show wanted us to showcase our lives.
Yeah. So that's how people are going to know you too and put y'all together. Is from you were on those episodes.
Exactly.
So like, how do you deal with it? Like, are you, I mean, obviously you're telling him, which is kind of how I react, but like, how does it make you feel? Or do you get noticed when you go out downtown, or do people?
Not necessarily. I have a few times, but people don't really come up to me very much about the show.
Yeah.
When we're together, they'll pinpoint it a lot easier.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, that's Summer House. But when I'm alone, not really. Usually.
Yeah.
You know, it really bothered me at first. And sorry if I get emotional, this topic. Like, it was really tough because I'm a really private person. And so it took a lot of convincing to even get me on the show to begin with.
Yeah. It took a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I decided maybe a couple of days before going on the show to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I'll do this for you, because he begged me and begged me. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But I know what's going to come with it. I just knew.
She was calling the shots before she got on the show.
Yeah.
Like the second they pitched the idea, and I was like, no, like the producers love me. They want to protect us. Like we are going to show the world what it looks like to be a strong, happy, biracial couple. And she was like, you're fucking delusional.
Have you seen
reality
this world?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I'm like, this is reality TV. And unfortunately, the world doesn't perceive things that way.
At all.
And I knew that. I'm not naive to it. I mean, before Amir, I was also with another black man. Like I've always experienced this, going out in public and people saying things or looking at you differently.
Yep.
So I knew what was to come. And now on a TV screen is going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah.
And the viewership is all...
We're a black TV.
It's a black TV show.
It's a black
definitely, yeah.
Right.
So it's coming.
So it's coming.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and keep it low and not do anything crazy or put myself in a position. Of course, I ended up doing things unintentionally, trying to be a part of it and trying to get to know people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very scary, and I had to turn off my comments. I had to...
Shit.
I turned off my comments. I turned off people following me. Like, I didn't want anything. No notifications, nothing, because it got so bad and so hateful. People telling me, you know, to kill myself and that I'm a racist and that
You didn't respect me.
I don't respect him and I'm using him for all these things. I'm like, I don't want any of this.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Amir for Amir.
Yeah.
But even at the beginning of our relationship, I told him, look, I'm choosing you because I love who you are as a person, but this world is nothing that I want to be a part of. And it's taking a lot for me to consider being in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
I had to convince her when we started dating that like she was very familiar with influencers and celebrities and what the limelight can do to an individual.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I had to convince her and ultimately show her like I am truly and genuinely not that person. Like no amount of fame will ever change me.
Yeah.
And like at the beginning she was like, I'm telling you now, I really don't want to be with an influencer. Like I would rather be with someone who like works or owns a company, has never touched Instagram, and no one knows their name. And I was like, hey, that's I have the opposite of
Not him.
Not me.
Clearly.
Tell us how y'all met.
We met at Collective.
Okay.
You can tell your version.
Because
I love that
the
there's
versions
more.
are always versions are always different.
Your version is wrong.
My version
is right.
My version is super accurate.
Like on point.
Yeah.
Her shit is always a little loopy.
Not.
She thinks her version is like has that 1% that would like make my story the story.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just her POV. And I'm
Tell
like,
us about
Well,
it.
or hers.
Let me hear it.
Okay, well, I'll give you my POV then. Yeah, we met at Collective. We had seen each other multiple times in passing. Like, I'd see him looking at me, I'd be looking at him, but he'd never make any moves. And I was like, okay, I like that. Usually at the gym, guys would approach me during my workouts and like always come up to me and talk to me and bother me. And I'm like, okay, I hate this gym. Like, why? Why is this happening? Can I just work out? But then I was like, okay, but this one guy though.
If he approached me, okay.
No, he never did. And that's what caught my attention was the fact that he never approached me. Like, he would look and like make it noticeable that he was looking, not crazy noticeable, but like I knew.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, something about that like attracts me. Still never said anything. Months go by. I was sitting in the back room getting like leg compressions done with my best friend, and he walks by. And I was like, okay, this is my moment to just introduce myself, not knowing who he was, what he did.
Right.
As a real estate agent, I just like to network with people. So I was like, hey, this is my moment just to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, how are you? And he literally, his neck like snapped. And he looked and he was like, me?
I was confused. I was thrown the fuck off. I was like, because we had never talked before, so it's not like she had a reason to be like, oh, hey.
you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you talking to me? And there's a wall behind me, so I know, like, is there
It's
someone?
me. It's me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, you, like, how are you? My name's Natalie, whatever. What are you up to? And we sat down for like 3 hours talking there about our lives, getting to know each other. He was currently like building out his business cards. So I was like, okay, I have mine in my car. Let me show you. Like, mine's super badass.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I went to my car, and apparently while I was at my car, my best friend and him were talking, and he goes to her, is she single?
Oh, she's single?
Okay.
And my friend goes, yes.
Very single.
And very
interested.
And interested. And I was like,
Just threw her under the bus.
And
yeah.
very
And
interested.
I didn't know this at the moment. I was like, okay, like, I'm just going to get
You're
my
just at
business
your car. Yeah.
And so I come back, I show him the card, and we sit down, we keep talking, get to know each other. And the next day I had a pickleball event. And I was like, okay, I don't have a partner. He seems like a cool guy. He looks athletic and strong. Like, I'll win with him for sure. I'm
Not
super
gonna win.
competitive. We lost really
We
badly.
lost to everyone.
But this is when you wasn't into
But have you
pickleball
ever
yet.
played?
Yeah, I
he
literally
wasn't
had
into
just
it.
He was
yet.
I
into
picked
it.
up a paddle
I
maybe
had just
twice.
started. So this was very new for us. But
Yeah.
again, I looked at him. I was like, oh, for sure.
Right.
He
Yeah.
can slam
He'll be
that
fine.
ball. We'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We were playing like 40, 50-year-old real estate agents. We were like, we're
They're
gonna
the best.
we're gonna
They're the
shit on
best.
them.
Right. We're good.
Not realizing that this
No.
is like an elderly sport that they've been playing for the past 20 years. Like,
Right.
I thought pickleball just came into
Wait a
existence.
second.
No.
I'm going to argue that an elderly sport, I feel like it's all young people doing pickleball.
Now,
Oh,
but
now.
it used to be like if you
Their
didn't play
sport.
tennis,
It
you
was?
played pickleball.
Oh, I
It
thought
started
this was like people are
in an
just
old
getting into
people
it.
home.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pickleball's been around for a really long time. I didn't know that.
Neither
I thought
did
it
I.
was.
Just
Well, we
I thought
didn't
it
know
was a
about
COVID
it until
fad.
like new age people start doing it
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it becomes popular.
Same.
Old people are like, we've been doing this. Okay.
So the pickleball was the first date.
Pickleball
Basically.
was
Well,
first-
the story
no,
gets a little
technically.
bit fun here. So he gives me his number. I tell him, I'm going to text you back with the information for the pickleball. Okay? I go home. I text him, hey, this is the pickleball details. Like, can't wait to play with you, blah, blah, blah.
Nothing. Cricket.
Crickets. I'm
Big
like,
play. I like
this
it. Yeah, keep it. Yeah.
piece of poop.
No.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
I was like, I'm never going to talk to this man again. I give him a chance, and this is what he does?
I give
I like,
him a
I like,
chance.
I like the
Easy.
style. I like the style.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So, coincidentally, the story gets really crazy here. I show up to support a friend who's doing a speaking engagement for social media at some, was it for real estate
Yes,
agents?
is real estate agents.
Real estate agent thing. I was like, okay. She's like, please, Natalie, like, I'd love for you to come support me. Nobody else is coming for me, at least. Will you come? I was like, okay, sure. I have some time. I'll go. I go, I sit down. Guess who comes out on stage?
This guy.
First speaker.
This man next to me. I was like, no freaking way, dude. I cannot believe I'm looking at this man right now.
That's hilarious.
I'm over here pissed. I'm like staring at him like,
You didn't text
me.
Me.
I shot you a text and you didn't respond. That's even better.
Just wait. It
I
gets
think I would have had to take a picture of you and say, text it again.
And so he gets on stage. The first thing out of his mouth is, "I'm so sorry, guys. If I'm nervous, it's because this beautiful girl is sitting in front of me." Wow. And I was like, so you don't know how to text, but you want to say something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. The whole thing's finished. He comes up to me. He's like, "You never texted me." I said, "Yes, I did." And I show him my phone. This dingleberry literally was so nervous when he was giving me his number that he typed it in wrong.
I typed my number wrong.
Like that, it could have ruined. If you didn't see her, it could have
literally.
Man,
so that's the crazy part of the story. That then later we played pickleball, but if that wouldn't have happened, we probably would have never been together.
Yeah.
She told me like multiple times. She was like, "You're so lucky you were at that event."
For real.
Because even if I would have saw you at the gym and you would have explained this story to me, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have cared. Like I would have been like, "Nah, it just wasn't meant to be."
And good thing you took your friend's offer to come support us.
I know,
because that wouldn't happen.
Everything happens for a reason.
Well, part of that story wasn't accurate.
No, that's the first time she's actually told it.
She told it
Okay. She
Guys,
pursued
that's
me.
literally the same story I've said.
I just want it to be known that she pursued
you.
Yeah, that's
I didn't pursue. I said hello.
You did not
pursue.
What?
That's pursuit.
Yeah, you pursued.
You folded first.
What? No.
I didn't say hello.
He was holding strong. He was just walking by looking at you a few times. You the one that broke code and was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
You see?
That's how it goes.
You see?
Okay.
I
So
wouldn't
you
consider
came
that
on
a
him.
pursuit.
Right.
But sure.
That's how it goes. What?
He was on stage in front of people talking about how beautiful she is.
I didn't say nothing
because
about him.
I had already laid the foundation and I thought we had a date. So I was
Okay.
like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this very I'm going to show cards in front of people and she's going to be like, "Wow, so romantic."
Facts.
And it worked.
That's how it goes.
Thank God.
So see, that was the pursuit. See? That was
Pursuit. I didn't pursue.
See?
He didn't respond to my text.
You showed your cars first.
You showed your
and you
cards.
shot the first text.
That's true.
With pickleball details.
Yeah.
but
Not
I'm
like,
saying,
hey,
you-
it was
you
so
un-
nice.
You understand where I'm coming
I
from.
do, definitely.
There's obviously going to be a disconnect.
Always. Yeah, and just like with you, like what are we talking about? I tell the story perfect.
If you think for 1 second I pursued you, we're not going there.
We're not even gonna tell our story, but because we already told it plenty of times on the podcast. But like one part of our story is that I was pursuing her heavy at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once I stopped, because she wasn't,
Like
she was showing
months.
me a little bit of love every once in a while. I would send flowers to her job and all that type of stuff.
He would
She
come
wouldn't
take me to lunch
take her
every
to
day.
lunch, and she wasn't giving me the type of feedback that a
That
player
you
need
to continue
to
or
all
level
this
up.
feedback.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do all this shit and you're not giving me the love that I mean, like I'm a hot topic out here. Like, what we talking about out
He
here?
thought he was.
You know
That's
what
why
I'm
he
saying?
liked me, though.
This is
Because
what
I
it
was
is.
like,
But she
meh.
wasn't giving me like what I needed and stuff. So I stopped talking to her. Then she started coming on strong, texting, calling, doing all that. Let's do this, do that.
Okay, calm down.
She turned up the heat, but I didn't. I was showing her.
You're like,
I don't even want you no more.
You actually said it. You were like, "Well, I don't really like you anymore."
I don't.
I was
Like,
like,
that's real talk. Like I liked you. I was coming on strong.
Yeah.
You wasn't showing me no love. Now you like me. I really don't like you like that now.
he literally said that to me.
Yeah, so what are we
And
talking
I was
about?
like, okay,
Then we
fine.
We got back on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And then it's been fucking
Because he
beautiful
actually
ever since.
always
It's been
still liked
literally
me,
8 kids
obviously.
later.
Obviously.
It's been a beautiful thing, man. And being married to like your best friend is like the most amazing thing in the world, man. I wouldn't even have it any other way. So let's get into wedding details and all that. What is the knot? Like, give me details. What is that? What is all that?
Go ahead. I mean, I can give the pitch. So the Knot is ultimately a wedding company. It's a wedding network.
Okay.
And so basically anyone can use the Knot for services, whether that be vendors, location, venue, anything. It's just a place where you can go if you need to plan a wedding.
Yeah.
And so they reached out, social media, and were like, "Hey, we saw that you're newly engaged. Congratulations.
Dope.
We have one spot left for this brand trip for newly engaged couples this year. Would you guys like to join?"
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, this is going to be the sickest vacation ever, and I'll just create some content.
Yeah.
No. It was the most eye-opening experience I
Really?
have personally ever had with regards to the planning experience. Because we've looked at Pinterest for the past like years. Since we knew that we were going to get engaged, we knew the direction of our relationship.
Yeah.
We've been planning this.
Wow.
So her mind was dead set on it being a destination wedding. She was going to have this gorgeous floral arrangement, like all of these things. And we got to the Knot brand trip, and they were like, this is such a gorgeous wedding. Good luck spending $250,000. And we're like,
oh, yeah.
huh?
It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come again?
Yeah.
I
So
lost
the
you.
destination, where's the destination y'all want to do?
So, unsure.
Okay.
Originally, it was Lake Como, Italy.
Okay.
So now there's a whole thing, but now either Italy or France.
Okay.
I haven't really decided. I've kind of put a pause on the wedding train thought because I've just been so busy. We have our house that we're dealing with. It's under construction and all of that. And then just trying to figure out like budget, all the big,
Shit is,
We are planning our engagement party, though.
That is coming up.
That's
soon.
fun.
So it's going to be a big pickleball tournament.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
It's going to be at Eastside Paddle Club, bar, food, pickleball.
All the things.
planning a wedding is like, so we were going to do a destination wedding. It was going to be in Hawaii.
Okay.
And
Ooh,
but
beautiful.
we have so many family members and just people having to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't, if y'all doing that, if y'all gonna do a destination wedding, make sure like y'all have it set to where y'all can send out things where people can start like saving money. Like, hey,
Right.
at this point you should have this much saved, and then have just different like
y'all might not be inviting.
like payment points.
Are you inviting a bunch of people?
Yeah. I mean, surprisingly, a lot of people want to come, even
Yeah,
though
for sure.
it's destination. And because it'll be in 2026, it gives them enough
Yeah,
time
to
to
save some
plan,
time.
Yeah.
save.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
we're looking at about like 80 to 100 people.
That's
Sure.
awesome.
We had
And now it's us keeping it low.
Low.
Yeah, we had
It's
200 at
Yeah.
ours, and we did it at Horseshoe Bay and everything. But we spent I
lot.
spent well over 180 something thousand
And
dollars
that-
on this shit. Like
yeah.
It was too much. It was a lot.
it was a lot. I mean, but
But that's
for
what,
her.
But that's and I want to give her her dream too.
For sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
This fool though had our wedding invitations because he knows everybody, right? He kept them in his truck and would just keep I'm like,
dude, that's
Stop.
brilliant.
Like,
No.
You just
No,
run into
it's
someone like,
not.
oh, dude, I forgot I don't have your number.
Yeah.
that's what
Boom.
would happen because he was like, I'm running into
Got
people, and
so
then they're
many
like,
people, yeah.
when's the wedding? And then he would feel bad, so then he would give them, and I'm like, okay, we have to feed these people. Like there has to be a table and a place, and there's flowers. But I got a wedding planner because I am not the one for planning, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just like, help, I don't
need
know.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wedding
And
planner.
we got a
100%.
good deal. I mean, just on the venue because I don't know if you met D3 Doug Gaffey. He owns his family owns Horseshoe Bay.
Okay, I know
So-
the family.
Yeah,
because
they
the Jaffees.
The Jaffees.
Yeah.
D3, he's my boy. We lived at the W together.
Okay.
So he gave me a really good price on the
gotcha.
on the venue
See if
space
he
and
can hold it
everything
down
like
for us,
that.
too.
Yeah.
So he
You're
hooked
like,
it
I
all
did
the way up
pictures
for
for
us,
y'all.
man. It was super dope. But let's get in these relationship dynamics, man.
Oh, yeah.
Who has what's your pet peeve that he does? Because I know y'all just got
man,
y'all own
what
space.
isn't her pet peeve?
Who's the clean one? Who's the
I
OCD
fucking
one?
wake up
like
and she's
who's
like, don't do that.
Like who's like?
This
Because
guy.
I got the most pet peeves as far as like
Oh.
in our relationship.
There's so many.
Like she leaves the
Yeah.
damn like for example, I'll give you two that I hate. Like I hate when she gets out the shower wet and gets the
Okay.
damn.
He's so
Oh, that's so
dramatic.
crazy.
I
I,
hate
wouldn't
that
even.
shit.
I don't.
Who doesn't draw off in the damn shower?
I agree, actually.
And I hate like so when she does like her makeup and washes her face or brushes her teeth. I hate when it's water left on the sink.
Dude, I don't.
Like,
Go ahead. Yeah, you.
give me
answer
your
the
pet
question. What's your
peeves.
pet peeves about me?
Pet peeves about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You don't have to hold back. I know what they are. So
Okay.
Give it to me the raw stuff.
yeah.
He goes on rants. I think that's like one of my bigger pet peeves is like he just doesn't stop talking sometimes. I'm just like, I just want to relax and like have a moment, and he just going on and on and on. I'm like, yes, honey, yeah. Mhm.
And they don't pick up on clues that we're like
Checked out.
Right?
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
then I'll just start a new conversation. And
Yeah.
once I see that she's checked out, I'm like, well, let's see how this conversation sets out. Like maybe she'll
switch
engage
it
me on this one.
I'm like, this is not okay.
That's hilarious.
It literally goes to the point where she'll be like, I really just need some silence. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll sit
That's
there
why she wasn't engaging.
and then I'll wait and I'll be like, are you done?
do not
Did
give
you get
him
enough silence
Cuban
yet?
coffee.
You said what?
He doesn't need Cuban coffee. That is not what he needs.
No, I 100% agree. But if I don't give it to him,
you need chamomile.
Is that calming? Is that a calming milk?
Yeah, it brings you. It's a chill. It's a relaxer.
Yeah.
Another pet peeve would be, we all know he has ADHD. So he tends to leave his track marks everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Because he forgets it.
He forgets.
Yeah.
So he'll start doing one thing, drop that off in the corner, go do another thing, drop it off halfway to another thing. And I just get home and it's like, I knew what he was doing that day.
Right.
And I'm like, I have OCD.
Me too.
Really
bad.
Really bad OCD. Days where like I don't even want to get out of bed because I know what the house looks like and I can't function.
Me too.
It's so crazy because our house is never at what I consider disarray or shambles to the point where like you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
But she'll look and she'll be like, I just can't do it today. And I'll walk outside and like there's a dog toy right there. Yeah, there's tons of dog hair because our dog shed.
Right.
And then like some stuff needs to be picked up. I'm like, okay.
But that's a lot for people that have OCD though.
Which is what I'm learning.
I see everything.
I'm learning.
I have different glasses on.
For sure.
So any little hair on the floor, I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
And sometimes I look at stuff like, there's no way I see it and she didn't see it.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I know you saw that.
That's her thing. Like she was dusting our walls yesterday. What the fuck?
No way he didn't see this.
Literally taking a duster. Like she was backing me. I'm like, oh wow, you're doing such a great job, babe. And starts taking a duster to the wall and like looking at it level. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she was like, you don't even realize how much dirt gets on these walls. I'm like,
you don't even see it.
You're insane.
Yeah.
You're insane.
This
What's your
is
pet
why
peeves
she's
about her?
paralyzed.
My pet peeves about her, I would say it's like kind of the opposite. She gets upset at me for doing too much. I get upset at her for doing nothing. Like she's a perfectionist, so we get annoyed at each other for not being like a mirror, right?
Right.
She gets upset at me because I do too much, but she can do one task and be very content.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, why do you need to be 100% at that when you can be 80% and pick up something else and like be 80% at that and go to the next thing? So that would be my pet peeve. Like there's been days where I'm just like, hey, what are your tasks for today? And she's like, I have 2. And I'm like, do you want 5?
You're hilarious.
What's the problem?
What are your tasks for the day?
But then he never finishes any task, and he's complaining about me because I've finished 2 tasks.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, to be fair.
Right. Exactly.
They're finished.
I have a lot of things we have a lot of things on our mind. So it's hard to like finish one task. But if we get it 80% done, we can get that 20% like later on. But 80% is a win.
I can walk by and complete
That's a B.
it. That's
for sure.
Like,
and I'm not harping on him. Like good for you. But don't get mad at me for my 2 little tasks that I was
I'll snap at her. Like I don't snap at her. I get snippy.
So what about that frustrates you?
For me, it's like we only get so much time in a day.
Facts.
And the phrase "tomorrow's never guaranteed" is always like living in the back of my head rent free. And so every single day I wake up trying to accomplish as much as humanly possible because I don't want today's problems to be tomorrow's problems.
Yeah.
And there was a phase in my life where I was like, that's tomorrow's problem. And I started to realize like I was just constantly delaying things. And so I look at her and I know the direction she wants to go. I know the direction we want to go.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, we can get there like in 2 weeks versus a year.
Yeah.
If you do 100 things a day.
Right.
Yeah.
And we could do it with enough Cuban coffee and belief.
Right.
We could fucking do it.
We can get it done.
And so I get onto her and I'm like, okay, the second you open your eyes, you have 1 minute in bed and you need to get up, brush your teeth, and start.
Let's get it done.
Because that's how I am. Like,
are you a morning person?
No.
Mm.
No.
She's not either. I'm a morning person.
Never happened.
My alarm goes off. I roll over. I kiss her. I get up.
I'm ready to roll.
I get an anxiety attack if I'm in bed for longer than 3 minutes.
What?
Which
Swear to
is
God.
crazy.
Yeah.
No.
And at the beginning of our relationship, it was not it.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
because that's so
I don't blame
opposite.
He's like,
yeah.
why are you still in bed? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like relaxing. I need a minute to like wake up.
This is her. This is her. But I'm up and I'm a morning person.
Because then you'll be mad if you want me to roll out of bed like you do, I'm gonna be angry.
Yeah. And I get upset with her for being angry in the morning.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm up and then I might go back in the room like, damn, she's still in bed. It really makes me upset.
I know it does.
It makes me upset.
Baby,
Like,
what time does your day need to start?
Okay, time out. Time out. Here's the deal. When I get up, y'all will have this. Do y'all want kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then eventually, when you get up, guess what? Mama, making your coffee, making my coffee, getting her juice, getting her sausage, getting her. So when I wake up, I can do nothing. It's not about me. It's I got to go do this. I'm going to go I'm going to feed the horse. Like all of these things seem so relaxing.
That's a lot of work and shit.
For me, there's nothing relaxing from the second I lift my head off that pillow.
Yeah.
My life is over for the day.
Yeah.
It's everyone else. That's why you're like, I'm about to put the baby to bed. Why are you putting her to bed so early? I'm like, you're not here. Like, why are you worried about what time I put her to bed? I'm putting her to bed because this will be my one moment to not hear my damn name, mommy. And I get to and by that time it's 9:00. And then he's like, why are you so tired? I'm like,
Sir.
did you see what I did today?
So y'all want kids?
We want kids.
How many kids y'all want?
2 to 3.
2 to 3.
The stipulation is, I think I hope I get it right. It's like we want twins. Twins run in both of our families.
Okay.
If
we have twins.
If we get twins, we'll go for 1. And if we have it, so that would be our 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we only want 2, it would be we get a boy and a girl. What was that?
That's
Yeah.
right.
That would be
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck
thanks.
with that.
Yeah.
Because, men determine the sex.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. No, we do.
Oh,
Men-
dude, she's been on me
Yeah.
about apparently men determine everything.
Yeah,
The
sure.
genetic makeup of a child. So
Pretty much.
as of recent, her TikTok algorithm is all about my sperm.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting
Sperm health.
videos
It's
about
important.
how I
It's
should stop
important.
keeping my phone in my front pocket because
Yeah.
it's too close to my testicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how I need to stop consuming caffeine. And then how I need to start. And then all to
You're
increase.
still young, though. You're still good. Testosterone is good right now.
And so, because she's been talking to me about that, my Instagram algorithm sent me an ad to
Right.
get my sperm tested. And I'm like,
Do I need to?
should I? Like,
Yeah.
now, am I the problem?
Possibly.
You don't know yet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, should we have kids? Like, if we have kids, I'm going to know it's my fault if they have an allergy. Like,
Right.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
For sure, for
it's your
sure.
problem.
So 2 or 3 kids, do you have like a timetable, like when y'all want to start? Like, let's be married for a couple of years first, da-da-da-da-da?
No, we kind of want to right away.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right away is good.
We've
I mean,
talked
to me.
about if like this wedding wasn't going to be as like financially bearing down on us
Yeah.
as it was, like we would probably go pretty quickly. Like
Yeah.
we,
For sure.
we both want to be young parents. We both want to take the opportunity to
Yeah.
just like have our health and be present for
Yeah.
them.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we both also had young parents.
Yeah.
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 It's comfort.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
I feel like y'all seem like y'all might be ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's our statistics. Here we go. So
ahead.
they say the happiest mom and dad's families are of pairs. So like 2 kids or 4 kids.
Yeah.
Just
They say
FYI.
odd numbers
Or 6 kids.
are not the happiest couples.
And it's
really?
because, which makes sense, because now that we have like the little one, everyone had, when with Blakelyn, then we got pregnant like 7 months later. I was freaking out. I was like, what the hell? What are we going to do? Oh my gosh. They're like twins. They're like another set of twins. They do
Right.
everything together. They leave you alone. They constantly play. And then we have Naomi, who's 3, and she's the youngest. So she doesn't have anyone.
Nobody close and range.
Yeah.
And she drives us insane because she's
she's the worst one.
constantly like, they need you. She doesn't have anyone. So
Right.
now I get it. So I would say have 2 or have 4. That's my advice. Or have them all 3 close together.
Yeah, so they
That's how
the
that's
idea.
what her
Like,
vision
I want to
is.
just pop them all out and then I can bounce back and I'm
Yes.
done.
For
Yes.
sure.
She's really looking every so months. She talks about her mommy makeover and what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
don't take any drugs. Make sure you have them all natural if
Oh,
you
yeah.
can.
Oh,
She pops
100%.
these things out natural.
My mom
That's
too.
crazy.
So I'm like,
Just pop them
I'm
out.
She
hoping
pops
I
some
have the
things
same
out.
genetics. My
Yeah.
mom
So
had
that's
all
why
her
I did
kids
it. My
natural.
mom did it with her 3, and I was like, if she can do it, I can do
do
it.
it.
And she's a G.
It's all.
I'm
We can talk beforehand,
hurts
but
when
it's
I'm
all in
sick.
your head.
Yeah,
As
she's
long
a
as you
fucking G.
can like control your mental, you can do it.
Like so on our
Okay,
kids, like
yeah,
she'll
we'll
have
need to
her
talk
she'll
about
have
that.
her earphones on and shit, and she'll be just listening to music. This how dope my wife is. This how much this woman is the most amazing woman I've ever been around in my life. She puts her damn earphones on. She'll be breathing, getting her shit ready to go. And this what she'll do. Boom. She'll pop the motherfuckers off. I'm ready. And then boom, doctor comes in. Boom, it's time to go to war.
okay.
You just
She's-
meditated?
and then,
I do.
she
I
gets
listen
it
to like
popping.
She gets her game
affirmations.
As soon
face
as she
on.
takes the motherfuckers off,
Yeah.
Little hype
it's
song.
go time.
Yeah.
She tells them it's go time.
That's funny.
Yeah,
So
like
there's these
pretty
birthing
dope.
affirmations where it's like this is what your body is made to do. Because I feel like, especially in America, we're scared. Like, it's like, you have to be in a hospital and you have to have this and you have to, and it's almost like a scary thing instead of a natural thing. Yeah. And these birthing affirmations are amazing, but they'll basically walk you through, like, God create, like, this is what your body is meant to do, and you can do it, and it's a mental. And so we'll talk, but I can share some with you that were like really good. Our kids are FaceTiming us.
That's so funny.
But it's such an awesome experience, but it's also very painful. So let's not pretend that it's not, because it is. So,
do y'all do date night?
Yeah, we're trying to. We're trying to.
Wait, cut this shit, Tom.
No,
y'all
let's be real.
Don't have
we're trying to.
They have a lot of tasks.
We're really busy. We're in the phase of our life where we're trying to start a lot of things, because if we do want kids, like, we have to be semi-established in our careers. Like, I'm the type of person, I'm a man. Like, I want to be able to step up if this pregnancy goes super south for her and she's just unable to work, unable to do all these things. Like, I want to be able to provide. And so that means that I'm trying to do a lot of things and start a lot of things that could potentially be very financially rewarding for us.
For sure.
And so that means that currently the two things that I lack are time and money, because the money that I do get, I try and invest it into things that will hopefully make more money.
For sure.
Some of them don't do that. Yesterday, I checked in with myself and I was like, what am I dropping the balls in my life right now? And I was like, I haven't taken Natalie on a date. Like, I couldn't remember the last time we went on a proper date without friends, without content needing to be made or any of that stuff. And I was like, do you want to go on a date? And she was like, yeah, I would like that. And then instantly, like, my instinct kicked in and I was like, oh, we could go create content. We could go do this. And she was like, so is this a date or is it content? I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, that was my instinct, was to see the opportunity for us to monetize our lives. And she was like, I would get that if we had more if there was already an established baseline of us spending time together. But if you're just going to have all of our time be content, like, I'd rather just stay at home.
For sure. We do date nights every Thursday. We've got in-house babysitter, so we make sure that we make time for ourselves. Always do date night. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing for sure. And, like, one of our mottos is fuck them kids. Because in our relationship is for sure, we put ourselves first. No matter the kids, y'all are second thought.
Right.
We always put ourselves first, because if they don't see a happy mom and a happy dad, there's no way they're going to be able to mimic that in their relationships.
And that's the thing.
And there's a lot of people that have kids and they do it different ways. They like putting their kids first, and then they wake up 20 years later and they don't know the person next to them.
And that's what I fear is like waking up in our 40s or our 50s and we have to learn how to fall in love with each other again.
So that's why we always put ourselves first. And you, I mean, y'all do it however y'all want to do it, but we put ourselves first.
We're definitely trying. It just, it really comes down to we like to do experiences. It's not like our date nights are cheap. We don't go to Panda Express and sit in a park.
Yeah, for sure.
We go to Perry's Steakhouse and then go to a movie. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
We're talking $200 or $300 days.
Easy. But this is
shit
expensive now anyway.
I'll say this, and I've said to him, and you can back me on this. Sometimes we don't want the Perry's Steakhouse though in the movie. Like, honestly,
100%.
like, you could do a picnic in our backyard if that meant there's no social media and no content being created and it's just y'all. That's all we want.
I don't want that.
It's the thought. It's the thought that counts.
I don't want that.
I'm just saying, though, it's not always about going
spending $300. That's always his excuse. Is, oh my God, it's
so
just
much.
so much. I'm
It
like,
is.
It's so
but
much.
it doesn't always have to be that way.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that's me taking the easy road on. I know that that's a win because I'm not taking the time to be present for my partner and think, okay, what would be something that is cheaper but takes a level of creativity and decision making that would still, like, I know where I fall short.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm having, like, decision fatigue, I just go, okay, Perry's.
Yeah.
And in my mind, that's the only way I can check that box. But I know that if we were to, like, sit at home and I literally turned my phone off and we sat on the couch and I touched her for 2 hours, holding her watching a movie.
Yeah.
That would be like her life.
Yeah.
For sure.
But again, the anxiety and the way my body and brain works,
It doesn't work
like,
that way.
it just won't.
Yeah.
And so
Interesting.
I'm working on it.
Y'all just got a new house.
Yep.
Tell me, who buys a house with no kitchen?
Well,
it
did have a kitchen.
It had a perfectly good kitchen.
Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't know it had, because all the pictures I see from you, like, I was like, damn, I was talking to my wife, I was like, did they buy a fucking house with no kitchen?
Brother.
Like, who does that? A new house with no kitchen.
The renovators came in and were like, I've never seen a new construction not have a kitchen. And we were like, it had one. We demoed it the day we closed on the property.
Oh, wow.
Her or Dale?
Kind of. Kind of both of our ideas.
Both of us.
Okay.
But she has the vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been doing real estate, and I love real estate so much. But I think while selling real estate, I really fell in love with the interiors and creating the home. Mm-hmm. And so I'm also a very creative person. So the paperwork is kind of fun. Yeah. And you make money, great. But like creating the home for the person, finding their style, making it unique, being able to be creative is like something I'm really passionate about. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to change gears here and get into interior design. So our house is basically my big project to showcase my work.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's kind of the journey of why our house is under construction.
So what's the vision on the kitchen? Oh, go ahead, baby.
I love interior. I suck at it, but I love anyone that can do it.
She is.
I mean, it's amazing.
She's a protege at it.
Because you literally can change. I look at our house sometimes like, God, if someone could just come in and just do it for me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, because it just can change everything.
Yeah.
It can
absolutely.
literally change everything.
I'm really excited to see the house once it's done, because people will walk in, like you'll look at it from the outside and be like, okay, this is a construction house. Like,
it's a new construction, $400,000 on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you come inside and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You can turn something like that into this.
Yeah.
And not pay $1 million for it. That's crazy.
That's the thing in Austin. Like, if you were to walk into our home in any other like area, you're paying $700,000 minimum for it.
Yeah.
Where are y'all?
We're in Southeast Austin.
Southeast.
Eastern Park.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the home that we got, it looked like a $400,000 home. Mm-hmm. And now you walk in and you're like, damn, we leveled our walls. They're completely level 5.
Yeah,
flatness.
Smooth finish. We did the nice baseboards. Obviously gutted the kitchen, all new lighting.
Yeah.
The outside, we trimmed everything black, so the brick and the black look really cool. The bathrooms will be for another phase.
Yeah.
But
so y'all doing everything.
Fun.
We're doing everything.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, if we were to go into a home that looked like this already,
We're gonna pay
a premium. And
why not build? Why not?
It's
still going to be way more expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
My again concept in life is, God forbid anything ever happens to her and she can never work another day in her life, I need to be able to hold down the fort in a way that I could still be present for my kids, still do all these things. And so me being 26, 27 at the time of going into purchasing a home, I was like, okay, this is the phase that I'm in now. I need to plan for now. Okay. So that's why we got that home versus spreading ourselves super thin. Yeah. She now needs to work to really support. Like, there's no option here.
Yeah.
And so now the only reason that we're in the position we are is because we're just trying to take smaller bites.
Yeah. It's an investment.
That's
awesome. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
We're adding value. We're building in a great community where a lot of things are coming. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, again, we're in our 20s. I'm 25. He's 28. So we still have so much time.
Yeah.
We don't need $1 million house right now.
Y'all are still so young.
But see, you say that, and I also feel like at the same time, like, in my head, I'm like, I'm 2 years away from my 30s. Yeah. And then once I'm in my 30s, I'm damn near in my 40s.
Well, I'm 45, and she's 41.
But
so we. You're 41.
40.
Why you gotta throw it all out there, though?
Baby,
you hear him put some oomph on that one.
He did. I just got that one. Calm down.
Baby, you fine as fuck.
Okay. Listen. Well, still wasn't gonna throw my age out there, but hey, here we are.
Well, she's 41, and I'm 45.
Well, you look great.
You know, so we ain't doing no tripping. Tell me this. Let's talk about careers right now, real estate. Where y'all at now right now? Like, do y'all feel like y'all in a comfortable spot? How long y'all been doing real estate for? Like, do y'all tag team together? All that good stuff like that.
We do tag team. I think that's something new that we're starting to try. So any listing I get, I'll tag him on. Any listing he gets, he tags me on. We kind of do our own thing with buyers for the most part. I feel like I haven't really made my mark in real estate, I feel like. Like I was doing fairly well at the beginning. I've only been in it for 2 years.
That's modest. She was
okay.
Producing.
Yeah.
No.
Producing.
No. I was doing fairly well, you know, knew right people who to talk to, how to get into the industry at a young age with no experience. And I don't know, I feel like I took it for granted a little bit. And then I met Amir and I really lost all of that. I was just like, oh, I'm in a relationship. I should prioritize this, focus on this, like build something here. My career can come second, which.
And then she also, like, she's beautiful. Look at her.
Yeah.
Like, if you know that you've got an opportunity to, like, potentially buy or sell a home with her, and then maybe score a date afterwards, you're going to take it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But now she's in a very committed relationship, and she is very forward about that relationship. And it's not, you're not really as incentivized.
For sure.
Talked about this before, because I almost got my real estate. I almost did it. Like I went through part of the school and I was like, because I didn't have it in me. I felt like that's what you needed to be young, single, beautiful. And then I think you can sell anything.
Yeah. Literally.
Not that you can't, like, you know, moving forward, but to establish it, I think that's a huge part of it.
Right.
And it's so interesting because why is that?
It's a numbers game. So real estate is like sales. So the more people you talk to, the more opportunity you have for a conversion, right? But every person, I think the metric or the stat is every person knows 5 realtors. So if you think about it from a perspective of if you're young, single, and attractive, and you happen to know 5 agents, but you're also single, or maybe you have a partner, but I'm still at least attractive and trustworthy or whatever it is, you're still going to go with me. So that's kind of why it pays dividends at the beginning of your career to be single, young, and attractive. You also can show up to networking events. You can go to bars. You can meet people out and just like very guilt-free. Whereas like when you're in a relationship, we don't go to bars. And if we do go to bars, we're not fucking talking to people. Because nothing good is going to come from that.
That's
right?
so true.
It's going to be half banter, and then we're going to try and push our business, whereas when I was single and she was single, if the conversation didn't go well, here's my card. I'm a real estate agent. If you think about moving, if it did go well, here's my card. I'm a real estate agent.
Either way.
Yeah. For sure.
So it definitely changed the dynamic in terms of our careers. But yeah, I'm kind of changing gears. I'm trying to get out of it, but I'm
we're jumping to interior
but
more.
now that you could sell and
that's
then
the plan.
Design.
So the portion of our business and the model that we're switching to is more of like a full package type duo of like she can stage your home, design your home, get it make ready. She has a listing right now that people are walking into, and she helped her sellers like completely update it so that way it could like have a good appeal to the marketplace with minimal cost. And crushed it.
I went into when I was living in condos before I met my wife, and I was being a bachelor. When I bought my place at the W, I was staying at the 360, but I was looking at the Four Seasons and all those other places, and how I found my person who did my interior decorator. I went into a listing, and I was like, man,
like who did this?
Who did this?
Exactly.
Who designed this shit?
Exactly.
And the dude was like, man, this is her card right here, blah, blah. I called her, and that's how, you know what I'm saying? So it does work like that when you walk into a space and be like, dog,
and
this shit is dope.
The amount of money that people pay for that is wild.
It is.
I looked at one who... So I own a cleaning company, and we do commercial cleanings. We do restaurants, and then we also do like luxury Airbnbs. And there's this one specific Airbnb that they were getting it ready, and it was insane. And I'm like, who? And she was there. So I got her card. And I was like, babe, she just like looked it up. I was like, oh, I mean, the price was insane for her. And I was like, okay, but it was amazing.
But, I mean, I feel like even if her prices they still work within a budget. Like if you say, hey, listen, I got $30,000 that I want to invest into making my space. They're going to work in with
some
that.
of them.
Some people will just turn you away and say hey, here's a referral. Like
I can't do it
because that's the thing is like wedding planners. They've invested in their careers to be able to hopefully only take on 5 or 6 projects a year that pay them really well. And they don't want to do 100 projecks or whatever it is.
That makes sense.
Makes sense for sure.
It's got to be worth your time.
It's
basically.
Yeah.
So tell me this, because I know y'all are both young, are y'all feeling like when y'all have a family and start having kids, do y'all feel like y'all are more traditional people? Like me and her we're 1000% traditional, meaning like, you know, they, what's that? You know, that I don't want to sound like the old, old. No, but I'm saying like we're traditional. Like we don't do 50-50 only because I'm in a financial space where it don't have to be 50-50.
Yeah.
She can keep her money. I'm gonna pay for everything. I'm gonna provide. I'm a protector. I'm an alpha male. We're not doing no 50-50 ever in life. Even if she came to a space where she was making more money than me, I'm still gonna keep that as a man because I've seen my father do it. And so we're not really on the 50-50 tip. Like, not saying she does own her own business, but like she still does like the cleaning of the house, the cooking of dinner. She's gonna make my plate, and it's not like we had a segment on one of our stuff like who makes whose plate, type of thing. If we're out at home, she makes my plate. If we're at a friend's house, she makes my plate. Not saying that she has to do that, but she loves to do that because we're traditional. She's definitely gonna do that. I mean, I've never made my plate before, and I don't plan on making it anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I love that for you.
And it's not that I'm like trying to like I'm putting that on her, but like she's a traditional mom.
Yeah,
she takes care of the kids and all that good stuff. And I know like you were saying that you want to be in that space to where if something does happen to her, she has the kids, and you want to be able to make sure she doesn't have to work because putting kids in, I just don't believe. We don't want our kids in daycare. I know 1, 2, 3 years old. We want them to be able to talk just in case something happens. We want them to be able to voice that. So I would rather her stay at home for those first couple of years with the baby and all that. So do y'all think y'all are fall under that traditional family type of deal or modern?
We're traditionally modern. So we are very traditional in our values and where the direction we want to go in. But we're also very modern in the sense of we play to our strengths. Yeah, I'm a chef. I cook. I love to cook. Yeah. I'm a homekeeper, and I am like that because my mother raised me. And so I don't look at her and say you've got to make my plate. I make her plate. I cook her lunches every single week. I do everything. Yeah. To that regards. Now I don't clean the home. She cleans the home. Right. Yeah. But when it comes to the structure of how we eventually want to be. Right now, we're in the phase of our lives where we're both growing, so we both need to be able to financially contribute. The idea is eventually one of us does very well in their careers, and that would be the other person takes more of a support role. Ideally, it's me because she wants to be present for our kids, but I'm also not going to tell the universe, no, don't make her rich. That's fucking stupid.
For sure.
Yeah.
So traditionally modern, I would say.
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works out perfect.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I want to get to a place where she doesn't have like I'm not going to hold you sometimes right now she's got to pay a little bit of the mortgage or she's got to pay like I can't just afford our lives. I'm 27 and I'm trying to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
But the idea is by the time I'm established, I'm not going to look at her and be like, "Hey, you still got to pay your own way in life." Like being a mother is a job, and I'm not going to discredit that. Like I'm not going to say you have to be a mother and also work. You can, if she can do interior design and be a mother, sick. She gets to buy herself bags. She can contribute to like the kids, and we can buy them things, and we can do vacations. But it's up to me to put food on the table, roof over our heads.
Yeah,
the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So y'all are still in this honeymoon stage. You know, we like to say. Y'all don't think y'all
no.
How long y'all been together?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Y'all are still in the honeymoon stage?
Dude, we moved in together 2 months after dating, and we went through the reality TV show.
Okay. So y'all had big fights, big arguments, big...
Have we?
Okay, just making sure. Okay, y'all in this thing.
Honeymoon.
It
lasted probably 3 months.
We were literally worried about our relationship because of the lack of a honeymoon phase and people being like, you guys argue like you've been together for 10 years and you just got together. But that was also the one thing that made me so attracted to her. Because any other woman in my life, I would have just walked out. I'm like, this isn't worth my time. I'm chasing something. She would fight with me, be like, you gonna walk out? Walk out, bitch. And I'd be like,
okay, I wouldn't say that like that.
She would say it like that, but that's what it interpreted in my head. I was like, oh, you want me to walk out?
Yeah.
Huh? I'm not going to. I'm going to prove to you I'm a man.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
She didn't say that. No, she'd be like, if you want to leave, leave. And I was like,
what did she just say?
Yeah, I'm like, you tempting me?
So, you know, one thing that me and her always, like, when we give it, like, a advice, like, we tell everybody, like, new couples, like, when y'all get in arguments, when y'all get in fights, keep it between yourselves. Like, we never, like, if me and her get in a fight, she don't go tell her mama. She ain't gonna go tell her sisters. I mean, she don't have any sisters, but she's not gonna tell her best friends and all that type of stuff. I'm not gonna tell my mom because we don't want. Because like if I did something to her, she went to go tell her mom, oh, Andre did this. Then next time I see her mom's acting funny towards me. Not saying that you can't tell your mom some things, ask for some advice, but like try to keep as much of that between y'all. And if you do need to talk,
you
said what?
I'm just an open book, and it's not that I'm an open book to my friends in a negative way, but like we are young, we are both unlearning unhealthy habits from our previous relationships and life experiences, and a person that I look to very deeply for insight and guidance is my mother. She'll give us an unbiased opinion.
Okay, as long as it's that.
She is super unbiased. If anything, she favors Natalie more than she favors me, like to the point where she's had to apologize to me as her son for taking more of Natalie's stance versus being like, you are my son, I stand by your side. And so at the beginning of our relationship, I definitely did do the negative of confiding, but it was also because like we would have really big fights. I didn't know what to do. I'm in a new phase of my life where I'm understanding what it means to be a good man, not just the version that I want to be, but like what is the version that I should be, and like my mom would want me to be, and my daughter would aspire to have in her life. And so I would ask her, I'd be like, hey, am I wrong in this fight? And Natalie would be like, don't involve your mom because I don't want her to have a negative perception of me.
Facts.
And I was like, no, you don't understand. My mom values you, and if anything is going to be more critical on me. And then for her, I was like, again, we're both unlearning unhealthy habits. It's in my head, I think it's great to have healthy feedback and for someone to be able to challenge your point of views and how you stand on things.
Therapy. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm not going to therapy, but therapy for y'all can have somebody to talk to. All those good
therapy
things.
is great. But the reason being is if your mom isn't biased, then great. But what would happen is I feel like your friends or your parents naturally are going to defend you or won't love you as much as you. So that was always my fear is, what is it?
Oh, no, we had an experience where like they just witnessed us fight at the beginning of a relationship and they tried to separate us because we fought. And I would just confide. I'd be like, yeah, I'm frustrated.
Or he would fight in public. Like I would be like, please stop.
We wouldn't fight, but I would be like, what's the matter? Like we would discuss issues.
With our friends present. And I'm like,
it's not like we would get in a screaming match.
No. But like we get into an argument and people are present. I'm like, Amir, please stop. Like don't. I'm very private. So, and he's not. He's like, whatever's happening in my life,
open book.
Anybody can know. And I'm the complete opposite. And so I'm like, Amir, please, let's not do this. Let's not do this. He's like, no, we have a problem. We need to figure it out.
I like to handle things then and there.
Right then.
My brain won't unlock. Like I'm like a pit. I will literally just fixate on that. So I'll sit at the dinner table while we're out with friends and just be like, waiting for us to get home so that way we can talk about whatever
and then
it is.
I'm just trying to have a nice dinner with my friends and vibe out and like I can separate the two. Like I can still have a good time even though I know when I get home we're going to have a discussion. He cannot separate the two. So he'll be wherever we are in a bad mood the entire time until he's able to let out whatever it is that he needs to let out.
That is the truth.
That's when you're like, come on, babe, let's just go to the bathroom real quick. Let's get it out so that you can sit back down at the table.
Let me let you get it out real quick.
Have a conversation.
So tell me this. So you was raised by your mom. Your biological father, he wasn't present? So did you have a stepfather?
Yeah, I had two amazing stepfathers. I had my dad, whose last name I have now. That's who I call my dad. His name is Matt Lancaster. And then my mom remarried, and then her current husband's Rob Fassett. And they're just two of the most smart, outstanding guys.
That's awesome.
I credit them to like raising me.
Do you feel like not having your biological father plays a part on you as a man?
No, I think it honestly is for the better, just because hearing who he was when he was my age and younger isn't someone that's like what I don't want to be. So I think being raised by individuals who stepped up to the plate and were willing to assume responsibilities and roles that weren't biologically theirs definitely molded me to be a better version of what I could have potentially been.
Yeah,
for sure. Is both of your parents still married?
No. So
Okay.
We have the same story.
very similar stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My biological left as I was a child, and my mom remarried, had my brother, and then remarried again and had my sisters that are twins. And my dad, who is my sister's dad, who I call dad, hopefully they don't watch this podcast because my parents don't.
It's not open.
It's not open.
Okay.
So they think that we're all from the same
Bloodline.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Okay.
Yes, because I think my parents are very traditional too, and they don't want to, I guess, muddy the waters for my sisters. They want to give them this, which is unfair to a certain
fair
extent,
share.
right? Because it's not reality. Sometimes that's what life is, right? But they're trying to, as much as possible, keep them as clear as possible. Like, this is what life is supposed to be. You're supposed to have kids with one man. Like, they want to give them that imagination in their head.
Right.
Sure.
Which is going to be tough now when they try to explain it as an
adult.
Yeah.
which is coming soon.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how old are they?
They're turning like 13.
Yeah.
Like they're in that phase.
Yeah, and they always question, like, why do you guys have different last names though? And we
And my
always
family
lie.
slipped up at like family functions. Like my brother has said something and didn't know that he wasn't supposed to say it. Like totally snitched on the whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, oh, because Natalie's not your real sister. She's like,
Oh, I had to save that. She
It
was
was
like, "Is this why you don't come
crazy.
visit me?" Because obviously we live in different cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're kids.
Yeah.
So they assume everything
is abandonment.
is abandonment. And they're like, "Oh, is this why you don't visit me?" He's like, "This is why you don't come see me. This is why you don't call me."
Yeah.
Because I'm not your real sister. I'm like, no. Like, I'm your sister. I'm just busy. Like, I live in a different city. It's hard. Like, it's really
Way to go,
difficult.
brother.
I know.
Dude, it was
a whole thing.
it
I
was
had
the
to
most
pull my mom.
unfortunate
Oh
thing.
my
It was at
gosh.
Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, the first time we all did
man.
like a big family.
Oh, my
It was
God.
crazy. I remember watching it, and it was harmless. Like, it wasn't.
Right.
He just
Yeah.
didn't know that he wasn't supposed to say something.
Right.
Yeah.
And we come from a background where, like, we're very open about the fact that we've changed our last name to our stepdad. Like,
Yeah.
And so he thought he was taking the role of like education, and you just saw everyone just go,
Oh.
and he's just, it was funny.
Yeah,
But-
I
but
do.
not funny.
My mom
It was
knows a family. They adopted a son, and he's looks nothing like them, but they've had him since he was a baby. He has red hair. Nobody else does. The mom dyes her hair red, just so he never questions. They've never told him
That's
he's adopted.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, ooh.
That's
That's next level.
we got to
Yeah.
yes that,
Yeah,
we gotta
that's
cut
next
doing that
level.
shit. So
Yeah.
people say, like, when you come from parents that's been divorced and all those good things, not good things, but when they come from divorces and all that, like, being in a relationship changes, right? Because I grew up with my
hard.
mom and dad in the house. They were married for 40 plus years before my father passed away. She comes from similar as y'all. And they say, like, when you get in a relationship with somebody that, like me, that's parents been together, and her parents that's been divorced, if y'all get in fights or get in big things like that, the person that's family's been divorced, it's easier for her to walk away than it is for the person that's been with you've seen mom and dad together and all that. That person is more to stick it out, but it can fall either way. It's either that y'all end up being like, we're walking away because it's easy because I can just get remarried, or y'all going to fight so hard to not end up in those situations. And that's what she
more
does.
us. Is we fight so hard to make sure that we don't end up in those situations because we both witnessed it and we're aware of it. We know that, like, we made a promise to each other, like, if you say you leave, like, at the beginning of a relationship, like, when it was easier to walk away, there wasn't as much entanglement. We were like, we would throw it off, like, if you want to leave, just leave.
Yeah.
And then we ultimately did it so much that we had to make a pact with each other, like, if you say leave, it's done. Like, you don't play about it.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like we sound so toxic. I promise you guys
No.
we love each
No,
other.
y'all
But
sound
we,
like-
I feel
y'all
like a lot of
goals.
people,
that we
Like-
have been through it, and I think that's kind of what has
that's made us really solid.
Yeah.
right.
We have been through it. I mean,
Yeah,
we
for
sat
sure.
here and traded stories about some toxic crap.
sure.
We could tell. I mean, we've been there. That's why I love where we are. And when a couple can get there and you've gone through all of this because there's still more crazy to come.
Yeah.
Just be
Fact.
prepared.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because
For sure.
you're constantly changing. And then when you're a wife, and you're a husband, that's a constant, that's a change. And then when you're a mom, that's a constant change. And so like, there's so many changes, but when you fight and you're like, you're there no matter what, you develop this like really awesome love and bond that I tell people all the time. And it's like, this is what I think is love now, now that we're years and years into it. What I thought was love then, I'm like, yes, it was love, but like, this is different. And it's this knowing of he's not leaving, coming from what I came from and kind of like what y'all came from. My dad would leave, or the stepdad, whatever, they were always leaving. And so I'm like, now we would get in one little fight, and in my head, I'm like, oh my God, all his bags are going to be packed. He's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. Big Daddy ain't going nowhere. Big Daddy ain't going and so now knowing like, he's not going anywhere and I'm not going anywhere. And it doesn't matter if we're still going to get in a fight. He's still going to get on my damn nerves, but like, he's not going anywhere. Yeah. And when you get to that, it's so great. And I think y'all are amazing. And I love y'all as a couple.
Y'all
and
do. Yeah,
I love that y'all have been through some shit already, because it's not all fairy tales.
And it's not, I'm tired. That's another thing that I have to, she doesn't want everyone to know our business, but I feel like what we're doing here, like if we would have had this at the beginning of a relationship and knowing that like, we're actually on a really healthy trajectory, because when we're fighting now, we're not fighting just to fight, we're fighting to find solutions. Yeah. Like if we would have had this, then like I probably would have had a different mentality. We would have probably fought differently. For sure. And she's like, no one needs to know this side. Like I would prefer it to be very poised, and everyone thinks that we have the beautiful relationship again in the very traditional way of sharing. Yeah. And so it's something that we're trying to find the balance. Yeah. What is sharing too much and what is not sharing enough? Yeah. Because
especially when you're dealing with a private person and an overshare. Yeah. So it's like trying to make both of that mix. And
so when I had this little podcast with the girls, I had some girlfriends on and we were talking about it. And I think it's so important that people do have more, not to say we need every detail of your relationship, but it's just like a human. Like when someone says, hey, how are you doing? And you automatically say, I'm great. Good. Have a good, if people were really honest about how they were feeling, then what would that conversation lead to? And then maybe people would be less, maybe they idolize people too much. They think y'all are perfect and I want my relationship to be perfect. Or and when we're real, we're like, no, we fight. He gets on my nerves. I don't want to make his plate, or whatever it may be. Then it makes you more normal, and then maybe there would be less like people feeling that they're not
a
enough,
standard,
or
like there's a standard to life, like a standard in your relationship, a standard of where you should be at what
like
age.
Cinderella,
like all these,
it's not that. It's more real than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's what I want to. That's what I'm trying to offer in terms of my life, and I'm trying to get. She's slowly getting on board with the fact that like, hey, this is a really healthy thing, because it's also giving. For a while, like I tried to suppress that, and I tried to come off very inauthentic and just very poised, and I'm someone, if I'm not living within like my purpose and my passion, I become a very ugly version of me. Not ugly in the sense that I'm abused. I just become depressed. Yeah. And for a while, she was like, at first she was like, try it. Like, see if you can be a luxury real estate agent. See if you can be very poised, prim and proper, and match my energy. And I was like, sick, I could do that. Yeah. And like, 3 or 4 months into it, like I just became depressed. And she was like, forget everything I said. Yeah. Be you. Yeah. And then even now, like she still has to remind me like, hey, I need you to be the version of you before you met me, because you were happy. Yeah. And now she's starting to get on board with like, okay, well, what would it look like if I shared? Or what would it look like if I was a part? Like she's dipping her toe in it. Yeah. And I'm hoping that,
she's ready for reality TV.
She would
selling Austin.
Selling Austin. Dude, she's ready.
I'm telling you, we just started a YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel of vlogging and space that she's all too familiar with. And she is, she's so good in it. And I just believe that she's
background. Ready. I also modeled, and I also did YouTube, and I did a bit of social media back in the day. Yeah. But it also caused so much of trauma for me that's why I am the way that I am.
More private.
Like the modeling industry is toxic for women. Yeah. Constantly being told you don't look good enough. Yep. You need to fix this. Do a nose job. Do this. Do that. You're not tall enough.
That's why I like this
skinnier. So much. I was going through it, trying to be this perfect version of what I thought the world wanted me to be.
I can't imagine.
So getting on social media, taking a picture, all of that is traumatizing because all I do is look at it and analyze.
She breaks herself down, and it breaks my heart to like. I'll take a picture of her, and I'm in love with the picture. Yeah, and she's like, airdrop it to me, and then I'll see her just like zooming in. I'm like, don't do that. Like,
okay, so I looked at your Instagram page. You're like beautiful and flawless on every photo. So don't do that. I was like, I'm gonna look like an old hag.
That's curated. I'm letting you see what I want you to see. And granted,
she doesn't. But she doesn't do editing. Like,
she doesn't do that, right? But
she's gonna make sure
I'm making sure my hair's good, my angles are right, like all those things, because I don't want to hear the criticism because I've been told the criticism all my life. Right? Yeah. But then it's weird because I have people like you guys, my family, like, oh my God, you're beautiful. I've been told I'm beautiful all my life.
Yes.
But then when you have, it's so hard.
Yeah.
So I have never been able to get on the social media train again.
Just turn off all the comments.
That's what.
Or just don't read them.
I've just been trying to like reinforce to her like in a really harsh, like militant way of just like, I'm taking this picture, and then she'll be like, let me see it. And I'm like, no. And
I'm posting this shit.
I'm so serious. Like I'll post it on my story, and there's some moments where like I know I've got to give her like, okay, a couple of redos, or I'm like, I know you could take a better picture. Yeah. But for the most part, like I've had to slap her hand when she's zooming in on her face, or wanting to change, or wanting to. I'm just like, can we just take a picture? And just let it exist, and she'll sit there and she'll fight it, and then, obviously some good stuff comes out of it. Yeah. So I feel like as my partner, it's also my job to change her story, change her narrative and her perspective on herself.
For sure.
Because I do love her. She's, the most, I get emotional. Aww. She's the most beautiful thing in my life. So.
For sure.
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So we're going to close this thing out, man. I want to say that I think both of y'all are dope, man.
Appreciate it.
And every time I see you, every time I meet you, bro, like, you're the same person all the time. That's a good thing. That's a good quality to have. Like, I meet so many different people just because, at the Reserve, I'm invested in that. Dreamer, I meet so many different people, and then they're so different than what, when I meet them and how they act. You've been the same way the whole time, man, and I really respect it. I really appreciate y'all. That. I know you're young, man, and marriage changes a lot. People think, when y'all living together and y'all are in a relationship, that it's still just, we're basically married.
Right. No.
When you sign them papers, when you put them rings on your finger, when you say those vows, shit just changes. It feels different. It's more of a locked in commitment to each other, man. Yeah. So as long as y'all continue to grow with each other, continue to be best friends, continue to talk. When y'all have kids, putting yourselves first, just continue to love each other, man. Shit'll work out, man, and it'll be perfect. You guys
appreciate y'all.
Any other advice?
I feel the same. Like I love y'all. I think y'all are gonna do great things. So
exactly. I was, people was like, man, y'all gonna
do my house.
Yeah.
He was like, man, y'all get him on the podcast. That. Are you gonna ask juicy questions? Nah, bro. We're just gonna keep it real and just ask about life and just marriage and just careers, and like, who gives a fuck about all the other stuff on the internet? Like, I can care less about any other stuff floating around.
That's not even us.
Yeah. So. Oh, I do want to talk about this though before we go.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm like,
I think everybody wants to know because you had it on your one years ago. Bro, you get your hair cut by a white girl.
Yeah, and
like, bro, that's so different.
I will. She will cut my hair for the rest of my life.
And I think she dope. She does a good job,
she does
bro.
An amazing job.
I've never had a woman cut my hair. Period.
Yeah,
just
let alone a white woman.
I used to have, I had long locks before, so a woman would do that. But like, I've never had a woman like,
he won't even let me like pretend. I mean, I couldn't have like a fake cutter and
I don't play. I've been going to my barber's super dope. His name is Darius. Shout out D. He's the best to me in the world. So
how'd you find her?
How'd you find her? Like,
she was a referral. I had been burned so many times getting my hair cut here in Austin because cats will always be like, nah, I can fade. I can give you a fresh cut
for sure.
And I had just been like burned time and time again.
Yeah.
And then also sitting down in a chair and just feeling comfortable. Like I feel like that's a big part of the barber experience. Is like barbershop talk. But barbershop talk that's in like an authentic way where like, you can talk about, when you're down bad or when you're really successful. And I just felt like there was a culture that, again, I wasn't really fitting because, I biracial, wasn't really exposed to this younger. Yeah. And so I was like, I want to be in a space where like, I feel like I'm in a shop, which she was in a shop before she had her own studio. But also like the person who's standing behind me, like I feel like has my back. I can confide in if I like need to at the time. And Courtney was all of that for me.
Yeah.
I walked out of there feeling great every single time. If there was something that was going on in my life, she gave me a very motherly perspective because she is a mother.
Yeah.
And she was someone that I trusted. And so I was like, I don't care what other people say.
Barbara's a therapist, man.
Bro, 100%.
Real talk. Like, Barbara's a therapist, 100%. Man.
Yeah. She's also a mother to
a biracial child.
So I think that's where.
And she also knows, like, when I need to change my hair, I want to do something. She's like, cool, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Like, here's the products that I use and that I've trialed with.
Yeah.
And so, Courtney, it pisses a lot of people off when I post her.
Yeah.
But.
I mean, I never read the comment, but I just was like,
I feel like that could be a whole podcast where we should just talk about like why people feel the need to say this stuff. I know we're closing it out, but I'm like, why? What does it matter?
I think people are projecting, and they just project, their fears or their insecurities, and so they see someone who's not living like. Granted, I did go on a show, and I didn't complain about being biracial, but I talked about my struggles of being biracial. And so people see me going to white barber, and they're like, see, this is your problem. And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, it's not a problem that she's cutting me. It's more of, like, the culture that I want to be included in. And she can introduce me to that. Like, there's other ways for me to be a part of black culture. It doesn't have to be with my barber.
Yeah.
So...
For sure.
It's just projection.
Yeah, man. So we're going to close this out, man. Like I said, this is a season finale. This is episode 10 of season 3.
To end it.
We're ending it with a great couple, man. We're ending with Natalie and Amir, man. This has been pretty dope, man. We like to thank the Round Rock Studios for always having us, man. This is Coffee with Jenni and Dre, and we are sounding out.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Peace.